What's going on, Junkie Nation? Gorgeous George and Goes are back. We got another MMA superstar here with us. It's Austin Vanderford, 11-0 overall, 5-0 in Bellator. And after a nice 2021, he gets great news that in 2022, he gets a title shot out in Dublin, Ireland against Gegard Mousasi. What's up, Austin? How you doing?
What's up, guys? How are you?
Not as good as you, man. That's great news. Like, I
Yeah,
love when they start laying out what the next year's going to be like, and this is a major fight to lead off 2022.
yeah. I mean, for myself, it could the new year couldn't start off any better for sure. So I'm excited, I'm thankful, and I'm ready to rock, man.
It feels right too, because I remember like two fights ago when you were 9-0, we were already pitching the question, and you didn't seem like it had to be right now, or you were in any hurry. I just remember thinking like that you felt like when it comes, I know I'll be ready, but it seemed like you knew that the extra seasoning from a fight or two wouldn't hurt you either.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm even now, like being 11-0, I still have so much growing and so much more to do and accomplish and get better. I try to get better like every day, and I don't think there's ever a stopping point for that. So, I'm just man, I'm ready to seize the moment, seize the opportunity, and go out. I feel like I'm a spot though in my career where the moment's like not too big for me and I'm excited to go out and it's not just another fight, but it's just another step for me and I'm excited and I don't feel like starstruck or something like that. I know who Gegard Mousasi is. I know what he's done for the sport and done in the sport, and I'm ready to go test myself against him.
Yeah, you know what I like about this too is he's a huge name. He's been
Yeah.
all over. I'm talking about Pride, UFC, Strikeforce. He's done some kickboxing. And so this will be an excellent chance for you to become a champion, but also become a champion because the incumbent is also a great fighter. Like, for example, AJ McKee, he had this incredible run, but even up until when he beat Pitbull, we were like, well, but can he? And then when he did, we were like, oh, okay, we get it now. And that, I think that's so special when you get to challenge someone who's also a huge name like Gegard.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was there for Bellator to call the fight with John Salter, and no disrespect to him, but I wanted Gegard to win because that's who I felt like, going out and beating a guy like him and stuff that erases any questions about whether the guy belongs in. It just like with AJ McKee, it's like if anyone had any questions, all that was answered after the Pitbull fight. So, and I want the same thing, and I've said it in almost every single interview. I'm here to compete with the best and fight the best. And, in my opinion, you can look at any promotion and you'd have to put Gegard in the top five in the world for middleweight. So I truly believe that. And I think this is just a great opportunity for me.
Austin, is there a particular moment in your career, maybe after a fight, maybe after a training session, where you felt like now I'm ready. I'm ready for the big title fight. This is the moment. This is what's proven to me that I'm good to go.
Yeah, I can't really think of a moment in particular. Like even my collegiate career, is like next thing I knew I was wrestling for a national title, and it just kind of happens. It just keeps falling into place, and I feel like I've always just kept on the grindstone and just continue to go along and take each thing step by step and whatnot. But one of the really big things for me was moving out here to American Top Team and just competing with those guys, the best guys in the world day in and day out. And you start to like feel it. You're like, all right, I do belong. I am this good and I can do these things and be special and whatnot. And so I do credit a lot of just moving out here to American Top Team and what Dan Lambert's got going on and all the amazing coaches there, my head coach Bahumpa, Mike Brown, like all those guys. and then, your training partners and stuff, it really instills this confidence in you that I really needed. And I was so happy that we moved out here, over a year ago, and I've been able to integrate into here and be ready for this moment.
When you've dreamed of this moment, what is it that stands out? Is it you holding a championship belt? Is it the money that comes with it, the fame, the status? Like, what's that one thing that kind of strikes a chord inside of you?
Man, it's just getting rid of that Mr. Van Zant, Nick. I kidding. I love the Mr. Van Zant. You know what? It's just the glory, man. It's going out and putting it all out there in front of everybody, and laying your nuts on the table, and you're gonna do it or you're not. And I just that moment, like when your hands getting raised, I I know for myself, like the last thing I'm thinking about is the money. It's just like, fuck, I did this, I got it done, there is zero, you just can't, there's no comparison in the world to a fight and finishing a fight and winning. And, I just think it's going to be multiplied by so much more when I get the belt wrapped around my waist. So it's living for that, man.
When you look at Gegard's last couple opponents, and actually just throughout his whole career, he's faced so many different styles and so many different types of fighters. Is there anything that you feel like that you bring to the table that maybe he hasn't seen? Something within the last couple opponents that you feel like you're bringing to the table that that guy just probably won't be prepared for?
Yeah, I mean, you look at I mean, he fought a grappler his last fight, and that's what I am. But I think I'm a little more tenacious and a little more my athleticism and whatnot, and just couple that with my gas tank and just being able to put on a high pace the whole fight. So I think a lot of that is going to be different, but it's hard to really tell a guy who's had like over 50 pro MMA fights that they hadn't seen this guy yet. But he also does have some losses, and I of course I studied and watched some of these fights, and I feel confident with the game plan that we have going into it. And I'm young and hungry, and this is just the moment for me, and I just feel like everything's right, and I feel like everything's been put into place and just made right for this moment right here.
Again, 11-0 is super impressive. But did you ever think that in my 12th fight, I'll be ready to become a world champion? Like, did you ever think maybe when I get to my 20th, my 15th, or was there a certain year of training MMA or anything like that? Like, are you kind of where you wanted to be, or is this even maybe sooner than you thought? Again, not that you would ever decline it or feel like
Yeah.
you're not ready.
No, no, not really. You know what? It's like I guess I've just had so many people, as I've continued along in my career, and I keep building up wins and beating guys, and I have so many people ask me like, "Man, when are you fighting for the title? When are you fighting for the title?" It's like, I knew in my mind like it takes a little time. It's not like you're not 6-0, 7-0. You go fight for one of the very best promotions in the world, like the world title for that. So I knew it was gonna take a little bit of time, but I also knew I was close. Like, coupled with, not only talent, but just looking around like what, it's a show business too, and what you bring to the table, and, outside factors and stuff. Like, I'm not an idiot on any of this stuff. I know how much, being married to Paige and my wife like helps me and helps build who I am and whatnot too, and it gets more views and all that shit. So I knew if things turned out right, a little bit of luck on my side, and just continuing to win fights, I knew it was coming sooner than later.
And what are your thoughts on it happening in Dublin? Is that something that might be better and maybe less distractions come fight week and fight night? Is there something special about it? Is any of you Irish at all? I would say so. It looks like.
Yeah, I get this red beard going, so
Yeah.
I'm assuming. I know I've done the 23andMe, and I've got some Irish. So I got quite a bit in me, but yeah, dude, fighting in Ireland, this is like dream come true too, man. Like I was so happy. I had kind of heard rumblings like, hey, be ready, maybe go to Europe. Also be ready for like Arizona around there. And then I looked at, actually it was last Saturday, I looked at the fight contract and I was like, okay, babe, guess where we're going? And she's like, where? And I told her and she was so pumped. And I'm happy to go do it there, man. I think it's gonna be so fun. This sport too, we get caught up so much in the wins and the losses and whatnot, but dude, this is about building memories. And one of the best memories I have in my fighting career that I'll never forget is taking my family over to Israel and fighting over there. And we're gonna do the same thing for Ireland, bring my whole family out, and and just set. It's gonna be a fun memory for my whole family. My dad's getting a little older, and just doing stuff like this, man. This is gonna last forever, and I just, man, it almost chokes you up thinking about it. Just like having them there and being in Ireland somewhere they've never been in the world, and watching me get the belt wrapped around my waist is like, dude, I wake up every morning dreaming this, and I'm so excited that it's a reality.
That is a unique and very cool opportunity that you have for your title fight in a country that is rich in sporting history and combat sports history because of boxing and MMA. But yeah, I mean, soccer, rugby. The Irish fans are amazing. They love competition of any kind. So that's going to be great for you and Gegard, and of course Bellator. Last question here. Like you mentioned, you're at American Top Team. You're originally from the West Coast. I'm sure along the way you've probably had a lot of mentors or a lot of people that you look up to. Is there anyone that, maybe one or two people that you will pull aside in regards to like, hey, is there anything you can tell me, about this experience or anything that I should or shouldn't do in what's basically the biggest fight of my life against a top gun like Gegard Mousasi?
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned before, Chael Sonnen, he was a big part of just getting going my career and whatnot. So he's a guy I would talk to, and he's obviously been on the biggest stage and has been in some really big fights in his career as well. But more just giving thanks to people too. My head coach Fabiano Scherner, like he played such a big part in getting me to where I'm at, and of course I moved on to the headquarters here, American Top Team, and all that. So, but another guy who's just helped mold and like build who I was, and some of my wrestling coaches from high school who've unfortunately passed away now, and whatnot. And then and my college coach too, Mike Ritchie at Southern Oregon University, and he's a big part. And throughout my career, he's been really supportive, and along with Joel Gibson too, and those guys, they've been really supportive of me fighting, and just talking to those guys, and they were there in my corner when I won national title in college, and that was a pretty big deal for me too. So, talking to all those guys, and more than anything, just giving thanks.
Well, it's going to be an amazing holiday season for you. You got Christmas, New Year's. I'm sure there'll be a tamed down version of what you and your wife usually get into, but yeah. I mean, that's awesome. We don't have to wait very long, man. In February, you get to fight for a world title. Congrats, Austin, on that opportunity. We look forward to it, and I hope you have a safe and healthy camp and weight cut, leading into this fight.
Yeah, and thank you guys too. You guys have always you've been there for me along the way, and interviews throughout the whole process. So it's just fun to see it come around full circle and whatnot. So I appreciate you guys as well.
Thank you, sir. All right, again, happy holidays, and we'll probably talk to you on Fight Week, man.
Yep, for sure. Look forward to it. I'll see you guys. Yeah, happy holidays.